tobacco drying boxes, and I'll just go ahead and read it word for word. The National Cigar Company of Frankfort, Indiana, was closing down a warehouse, and this auction had mainly scrap metal, specialty items having to do with cigar manufacturing, and scrap lumber. However, there were approximately 16,000 cigar drying boxes. Each of these 10-pound wooden boxes had 10 to 16 slender trays in one side with no pulls and a lid that clamped at the top. Each of the ends was stamped with the name of the cigar brand, like Corona. They measured approximately 16 inches long, 8 inches tall, 6 inches deep, and some were as tall as 14 inches. Multiply this by 16,000 and the quantity becomes several semi-loads. Some were quickly sold for $3 each, and that was at the auction. And then no one wanted them because they took up too much room and they were heavy, bulky, ugly. Nobody knew what to do with them. There again, when you're at an auction, you want to pay special attention to everything that no one else wants, because there's where you're going to find your treasure. One buyer, that was me, purchased over 10,000 of these boxes for under 10 cents a piece. And basically I ended up with 10,000 for about $900. I was left here by my brother Mike, and when he got back and found out that I was now the proud owner of, we were partners, so he was also the half owner of 10,000 of these. Well, he was not real happy, and he thought I'd done missed the slow train to Logansport, which is a mental hospital. 10 cents a piece, and transporting them took a very long time. A few weeks later, the first time they were resold, they were taken to an auction. Shipshewana, many of you are probably familiar with. We built a large pyramid of these items in the middle of our booth, and this pyramid was probably about 12 feet tall, contained probably about 150 of these in a big stack. And I put a sign up that told what these were and where they came from and such, and they started to draw a lot of attention. But up there at Shipshewana, people are seasoned pickers, so they didn't want to act too interested in them. When they come to us and they come to that item, however, you could tell by the crowd that gathered that something was going to happen. When the auction started, first choice of these went for $50. Second choice went for $36, and the price continued down to $32.50 when one buyer purchased the entire remaining lot for $32.50 each. To summarize that story, when I got back to town with the news, my brother, he knew who had ended up with the rest of the boxes for like a dime a piece. And he started calling around to several of these people saying, well, how many you got? And I'll give you $3 a piece for them. Well, seeing as how they had a dime a piece in them, and this was a 3,000% profit, most of them sold them, and we ended up with more than the 10,000. We ended up with closer to the 16,000 pieces, but just based on the ones that I purchased at the auction. And it says here that I'm a little off. It says I only spent $700 on them, and we'll have to go with that. But and the estimate of what I sold them for here is a little understated. But anyhow, basically we turned $700 into $180,000. One day, one auction, one purchase. Now, yeah, it did take us several years to sell them all, but so there's just a small example of how much you can make picking auctions on miscellaneous antique kind of stuff. What's important to understand about auctions is a really great auction does not come along every day. Based on, let's just say last weekend here in my local area, within 30 miles, there were 17 public auctions of all variety. And it's just a matter of picking the right one. The right one, it has to do with what they have and who's in attendance. When you do come up with, find yourself at an auction where you're the primary bidder and they have treasures that you can basically buy for nothing, close to steal, you want to have the ammunition necessary to make your day worthwhile.